Hey, it's Joey D, and welcome to my podcast, Joey D's Golfing Journey. Now sit back, relax, and have some fun. Hey, everybody, Joey D here. Welcome to episode, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this is episode number 4 of Joey D's Golf Journey, the podcast. All right, first things first, let's get all the thanks out of the way. My subscriber count is up to 347 subscribers. Now, granted, in the grand scheme of things, right? In the grand scheme of things, that is not like thousands of subscribers. However, I think it's growing pretty quickly over short periods of time, especially as of late. So I want to thank each and every one of you who've not only been there from the beginning, but I'd like to welcome the new subscribers to the channel. Thank you so much for watching, taking part in the contests, commenting on the on-course videos, watching the reviews. It all means so much to me. So I really, really appreciate it. Let's start off a little bit about talking about my game. Now, I know I told you guys that right now I'm a 10 handicap. Started the year at an 8.2, so it's been a bit of a struggle. I may or may not have told you this in the past. I tend to repeat this a lot, but back in the day, I used to be a pretty good golfer. Like in the late 90s through, I don't know, 2007 or so, I played good golf. I mean, I played to a solid 6-7 handicap. I've shot in the 60s twice in my life, and you know, I did that for the longest time. Went through a divorce, and the bottom line is my golf went to shit for a while. But, you know, I still feel like that great golf is in me. But this year has been a bit of a struggle. You know, I consistently shoot in the low 80s. However, those low 80s are not without a blow-up hole or two, and I just lose focus. And nothing is more irritating than making double or triple bogey and not getting in any trouble off the tee or off in the hole at all. You know what I mean? Like I can't tell you how many doubles and triples I've made without taking a penalty shot this year. It's insanity to me. Insanity. So, last week I had a really good opportunity to shoot in the 70s, or 2 weeks ago. You know, I had made no double bogeys through 17 holes. And wouldn't you know, the last hole, par 3, which is supposed to be the easiest hole on the course, even though I disagree with that rating, but I made double bogey and shot 80. I was like, you got to be kidding me. So, yeah, I've been struggling a little bit, but I tell you what, making the YouTube videos and doing this podcast and interacting with all you folks out there, it's been a blast. I've had such a good summer, regardless of my inconsistent golf or my sort of poor play. I'm not gonna piss and moan too much about being a 10 handicap, but I look at the guys that are like 5 and 6 handicaps at my course, and I'm like, God, I used to play like that. I used to be able to hit the ball like that, or at least score that. For me, it was more with my short game. I could get up and down from a paper bag, and I just kind of, just don't have those hands anymore. Maybe I don't have those nerves anymore. I'm not really sure. But either way, so golf has been, a little bit of a struggle, but it's been so much fun. It always will be. It's the greatest game ever made, in my opinion. Also, I've done some reviews of some clubs out there. I recently did a review of the Pine Meadow 5-wood, which is staying in my bag. It's still in my bag right now. I hit it great. And I'm super, super happy about that. I want to switch gears here a little bit. Let's talk about Mike Sweeney for a second. Like as you know, I had him on the YouTube channel and I did an interview with him. So on Monday, he tried to qualify for this week's Korn Ferry event. Now, to back it up a little bit, he drove to Georgia with Chase Koepka, who is Bruce Koepka's brother. Right now, he's Chase and Mike have become pretty good friends. Well, long story short, Mike missed qualifying by 2 strokes. He said he was 4 under with 3 to play. 5 under would have got him in. And on the last 3 holes, I think he said he went par, bogey, par, and missed by 2 strokes. So it's kind of a bummer, but he's sticking around because Chase Koepka made it, so he's going to caddy for Chase. And I think that's cool. So good luck to Chase Koepka in this week's Korn Ferry event. And I hope the both of you guys do really well. I'm always going to be rooting for Mike Sweeney. You know, he not only have I known him for a few years now, he came on the channel and did the interview. And, you know, I'm really pulling for the guy because he's a good kid. You know, he's 29 years old, and like I said, I admire people who just keep on chasing their dream. And I just think that's really important to not give up on your dream. So I want to switch gears a little bit. Let's talk about the PGA Tour for a second, right? So we had a new winner last week, right? And what I don't understand about that new winner was, you know, with it being, Jesus, I'm losing my mind here. I'm losing my mind on who it was, and I I should know it. Cameron Young, right? So I watched the tournament. Now Cameron Young's been knocking on the door of victory for a few years now. Like I can't believe he hasn't won yet. And this guy finally got the monkey off his back and won. But he had like no reaction at the end. It was mind-boggling to me. This is not a knock against Cameron Young by any means, you know. But I just expected him to like lose his freaking mind. You know. Remember when I'll give you an example when Ricky Fowler hadn't won for a while, and then he won the Rocket Mortgage Classic a few years back, and that big sigh of relief, and then his caddy going crazy, and they just celebrated. And I mean, it was such a feel-good moment, and I was really hoping for something like that from Cameron Young, but he just sunk that final putt and was like, yeah, what's up, man? You know, just sort of like, yeah, it's okay. Yeah, I won. Feels good. You know, I'm going to let it sink in a little bit. Granted, you know, he hasn't done it yet. He hasn't done it before. Maybe he doesn't know how to react when you win, or maybe that's how you're supposed to react. I just expected some more excitement from him, but like I said, it's not a knock against Cameron Young. I do think, however, the PGA Tour is in really good shape right now. I mean, you got Scotty Scheffler, who's heads and tails the number 1 player in the world. And I think it's good for golf to have that dominating player that every time he tees it up, you think he's going to win. The only thing that's bad about it is he's not the flashy player. You know, he's not the player like when Tiger Woods was dominating. Tiger Woods had this certain electricity around him. I saw Tiger Woods play in person in Norton, Mass, when he played in that tournament, the Deutsche Bank, that was a direct. It directly benefited his charity or his organization, the Tiger Woods Foundation, and the electricity in the air that was around Tiger Woods when he was playing it's indescribable. Because I'm gonna tell you, I volunteer every year at the Travelers Championship. And I do have video of that out there if you want to take a look. And there's certain players that there is a certain amount of, there's a different feeling in the air when they're on the tee. But with Tiger, I'd never experienced anything like it. And I was in the crowd. I wasn't working the tournament, but you would have thousands of people packed around like a tee, and you could hear a pin drop. It's amazing that all those people could be that quiet when Tiger Woods was on the tee, and it was just different. It was just different, and I was there at the Travelers Championship when Scotty Scheffler came through, and yeah, there was a lot of people that followed him, but it didn't have that same electricity. It's hard to describe. I don't even know if I'm painting a fair picture of it, but I mean, I love Scotty Scheffler, and he's great for the game, and he's just a fucking phenomenal golfer, right? But he just doesn't have that. I don't know what I would consider that kind of that. I don't want to say that it factor, but it's just not that. He's not he's not flashy. He's not flashy like a Tiger Woods was, or even like a Jordan Spieth or a Jason Day back in 2015, 2016 when they were dominating. There was a certain electricity in the air when those guys would come around too. So it's just different. But overall, I mean, the PGA Tour is in good shape, and they're playing for a ton of money. And let's be honest. Let's be honest here. They're playing for a ton of money, and as much as I don't like the LIV product, and it's not because of anything political of that nature, because, I mean, to me, golf is golf, right? And I love watching golf. But I don't like the LIV product for the fact that it's, shotgun start, it's 3 rounds, but most of all, I hated the scoreboard when I tried to watch it on TV. I may still look to see who wins there each week, but I can't watch it. I mean, the announcers are fine. They don't bother me. They do a good job. That freaking scoreboard, where somebody with like anxiety and OCD, it was making me crazy, and I could not look at it. Like, I couldn't look away from it. And I don't know. It was giving me anxiety, as stupid as that sounds. So the product itself, with the music playing and all that, it's kind of like a big party. These guys are playing for money. They've already got a shit ton of money in their pocket from it. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of rules and regulations with what they have to do and the way they have to promote the tour, but still nobody's watching it. I mean, when you look at the numbers, nobody's watching it. And they even have, I think they have a deal with Fox Sports, right? I mean, but the problem is most of their tournaments are not in America. So, for the USA fans, they're it's like in the middle of the night and stuff like that. So they're not getting any viewership. Anyway, I don't know if LIV Tour is ever going to get big or not. I don't think it is, but it's not. I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. It's not like I hate it so much. That's not it. And it's just that, like I said, the product for me doesn't entertain me. I want to be entertained, and LIV does not entertain me. So, but anyways, congratulations to Cameron Young on winning your first tournament, and I think that it's probably going to open up the doors for him to win a ton more tournaments. It seems like players, when they're on the cusp of winning a bunch of, all the times, and they keep coming in second, once they get that first win, the floodgates open. And I think the same thing for Tommy Fleetwood, who, even though Keegan Bradley won the Travelers Championship, who is a hometown favorite, I was pretty gutted for Tommy Fleetwood. I love Keegan Bradley. I do. He's intense, and he's a fiery dude, and I think he's going to be a great captain, maybe a player on the Ryder Cup team. But it would have been cool for Tommy Fleetwood to get his first win at the tournament that's in my own backyard. Really, I just think it would have been cool. And the Travelers Championship has had some pretty dramatic finishes on the 18th hole. I was there when I was on the 18th hole when Jordan Spieth, blasted out of the bunker to win that tournament. I was there back in the day when Olin Brown chipped in to win the tournament. I was there the day that Nota Begay sunk that long putt and went right off the back of the green. And yeah, it was just, I've been there for almost all of them. All of the crazy finishes that have happened there. all the way back to like 1991 when Corey Pavin made that putt that went across the green and he jumped way up in the air and whatever. He eventually lost in a playoff to Billy Ray Brown. Corey Pavin's another player that has almost won it was called the Greater Hartford Open back then, but he almost won that thing so many times. He always played well there. And they really toughened up that course this year because, a couple of years ago, Roy McIlroy made the comment of, the course is, kind of obsolete because it's a short course. But so they grew the rough out and, around the greens, there was no more the apron, the guys could putt up and it was all thick rough and it was unbelievable. And they tricked it up pretty good. And then the wind blew. And I only think like 12 or 13 under was the winning score. So that was pretty cool. I'm hoping you guys are enjoying the videos out on the YouTube channel. Please tell your friends, your family, any golfers that you know about Joey D's golf journey. The on-course stuff is so much fun to make. That How Low Can You Go video that we made, that scramble we did, and we ended up shooting 28 from the front tees. The next thing I want to do with that is I want to try to get the same team together. Three of us will be fine. It will be easy to get. Me, Kevin, and John are, we're the regulars, and but Joe Licky, that's the first time he's played with us. So, and ultimately it was Joe who really saved the day for us. He made a couple of big putts. We shot 28, and I think I counted up the other day. We took 14 of his shots. So the other 14 was comprised of me, JT, and Kevin. But I want to play the back nine at the same course, Keeney Park in Hartford. Shout out to Keeney Park. It's a great municipal course. It was actually ranked top 100 in the country for a while. And they redid it back in 2015, I think, and reopened in 2016. It was a shithole before then. It was terrible. But now it is pristine. It's so nice. The greens are unbelievable. And, it's so nice that they are actually next week going to be playing the what do you call them? The mid-amateur qualifying for the U.S. mid-amateur qualifying for at Keeney Park, and that's pretty cool. And in 2019, they had the PGA Junior Championship for both the men and women. Yuko Saso was there, and she's on the LPGA Tour. She's won a U.S. Open now. I think she won actually that Junior PGA that year for the girls. Haven't seen any of the guys that were there on the PGA Tour yet, but I always keep an eye open, and I don't recognize a lot of the names that were there, so I have to go back and maybe take a look at the list and see where these guys are at and see what they're doing. But there is a couple of different girls that were playing in that junior PGA tournament that are playing in the professional ranks now. But with Yuko Saso obviously being the most popular one that came out of there. And that was a blast. I volunteered for that year too. It was great. So that's going on at Keeney Park, and that's what my plans for, the next iteration of How Low Can We Go. I also plan on doing how low we can go, just me, and it's going to be how much does distance really matter for the average golfer like myself. So if I can add 20, 30, sometimes 60 yards to my tee shots, how big of a difference is that going to make for me on my own home course? Am I going to shoot a lot better? Because we're all chasing distance, right? We all chase distance, but we also got to put the ball in the hole. And I'm really curious to see what kind of difference distance is going to make. So I got a lot of plans like that coming up, a lot of cool videos, and it's funny. I do get a lot of the ideas from some of the other YouTube channels, and sometimes I think of shit like that'd be great, and then I'll go to somebody's channel and they're already doing it. And I'd be like, oh, wow. I mean, it's kind of a weird feeling because you're like, oh man, I thought I was going to be original. But either way, I still think there's a difference when someone like Grant Horvat or the guys from Good or Bryson DeChambeau, when they're doing it, because these are all great golfers, right? I'm coming at you at a point from the average golfer, like me and John and Kevin. We're coming at you from here's what the average golfer can do. And how much difference does it make when we play the front tees? And I think we proved that, it made a big difference in the scramble. I mean, we birdied every hole but one, and the one hole we birdied, we didn't birdie. We should have. I mean, if you watch the video, I left my putt right in the heart of the hole, and then Joe Litke hit his putt, and it took a peek in and backed up. Like it got to the crown and backed up. It was like, are you kidding me? So anyway, at least from a foursome standpoint or from a scramble standpoint, I think it proved that distance made a big difference. So anyway, there's that's going to be going on. I got a couple more contests coming up. The winner of that 2-iron has still not claimed his prize. I'm going to give it another probably just to the middle of next week, and then I'm just going to put it back up for a contest again. So look for that. What can I say, guys? I love the game of golf. I love to talk about it, and I could talk about it all day long. I get out here on this podcast. I don't even know what I'm going to talk about once I start going. I do not script it. I don't think about where I'm going to start. I don't think about where I'm going to end. I just start talking about golf. And so, this is what I'm basically going to do. I'm usually going to cover where I'm at with my golf game, how much I'm digging my hybrid irons, my Lazarus hybrid irons, the changes that are coming. I got an email from the owner from Lazarus saying they're making some big changes in their golf line. It'll be interesting to see. Hey, I did order some Lazarus golf balls. They're a 3-piece ball. I don't know how well they are going to perform for me, but I'm going to give them a try. This week is my club championship, so it will not be this week that I do it. I'll be playing my Callaway Super Soft or my Titleist Tour Soft. I did get the TaylorMade Soft Speed or Speed Soft or something. I played those in my league last night, and they performed pretty well. So I wouldn't, I won't hesitate in using those either. But I'll let you guys know on Monday how I did in the club championship, because when we play in that, we're not playing with our normal group. So, it'd be tough to ask guys to film for me. And, when we're all trying to focus on the club championship. So, but I will give you an update on how that went. It'll be make for a good podcast next week, I guess. And, and then, like I said, I'm going to do a review of the Lazarus golf balls, and we'll see how well those perform. They're only $20 for the dozen. So tune in for that also. So, hey, once again, thanks so much for listening to this podcast, this rambling podcast where I just get out here and talk about whatever I feel like fucking talking about. That's how this podcast is going to roll. If you guys want me to talk about other things, if you got topics you want me to talk about, just let me know in the comments and we can discuss it. If you want me to know my opinion on something, or if you got an opinion, that's cool, man. Just let me know, and we'll discuss. I'm looking to get Kevin and John and on this podcast, and hopefully we can do, like a 3-man thing. I think that'll be a ton of fun, especially since the 3 of us together are freaking nut jobs, and we're just going to keep on having fun. We're going to keep on rolling out there at Keeney Park, and I'm going to keep on bringing you videos. And hopefully this channel will grow, and we can get to a point where, I don't know, I can just quit my job and start flying in private jets. That sounds great, doesn't it? Anyway, everybody, thanks for listening to Joey D's Golf Journey podcast. Tune in next time, and you guys have a great day. Peace and love you.